first day of Audrain Motor Week out here in Newport, Rhode Island, and we're out at the first event called The Gathering, which is at this exceptional estate here called Rough Point. It's out here right against the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, with some beautiful scenery and obviously an incredible collection of cars that we're going to check out, from OEMs that have brought some new reveals here, collectors of course, some cars that are going up for auction, but they're all spread across the lawn. And it's gorgeous weather, incredible cars, incredible company. So let's go check out and see what's on the show floor at The Gathering 2025. E28 M5. And what do we have here? We've got a bunch of McLarens, the P1s, 765 LT, and then this is a Senna GTR, GTR LM, in fact. I don't know what the production numbers are on these, but obviously there was the normal LM, and then there was this, or the normal GTR, and then there was the GTR LM to celebrate McLaren's success in motorsports even further. Just incredibly raw, track-only machine. And this is a bare green carbon P1. That is a heavy spec. Incredible. And then what else we got? 918 Spider Carrera GT right out in front of the ocean there. That's beautiful. And mint green GT3 Touring over here. Let's take a look at this. Nice subtle spec on this 918. Black over red. But then look at this. This is wild. I love some of these more bold Porsche PTS colors here. Oh, it's not a GT3 Touring, it's an ST. Wow. The ultimate current 911 in quite an eccentric color. It's definitely my taste, but might not be for everybody. That's really cool. I think it's mint green. I think that's the color code for this one. Porsches over here. Look at this. We have a 993 GT2. And then this is something really special. This is a GT2 RS Club Sport Manti 25 model. It's one of only 30 in the world and one of 5 in the US, built to celebrate the partnership between Porsche and Manti Racing. That's really wild to see that. What else do we have? Over here, Renault 5 Turbo 2. And then this is one of the holy grails over here, CLK DTM. One of 100 of the coupes, built to celebrate their success in the DTM racing series in Germany. Even more hardcore than the CLK 63 Black Series, but not as much as the CLK GTR, of course. And then one of my other most favorite Mercedes of all time over here, the AMG Hammer wagon. There's the coupe, the sedan, and the wagon, but how can you deny the badassery of the wagon? I don't know how many of these there are, but they are incredibly rare and incredibly valuable. That's really special. In the only spec you would want, of course, black on the black monoblock wheels from AMG, multi-piece wheels, super cool. 560 SEC AMG as well, one of their iconic pillarless coupes from the pre-merger era. And then some really insane exotics over here, Bugatti Mistral. I think there's 99 of these, if I'm not mistaken, but their final iteration of the W16 engine before moving on to the Tourbillon. And basically the Chiron Grand Sport convertible that never was. It's really incredible. Next to a Chiron Super Sport, looks like the 300 Plus edition, to celebrate their top speed run where they went 304, I think 304 miles per hour in one direction. That's what the special livery is for, to call back to that test car they used. And then we've got some special Porsches over here, a Roof CTR anniversary. Always cool to see that, celebrating the time since the original Yellowbird came out in the 80s and shocked the performance car world. And Turbo S, I think, some other special Porsches. This looks to be a Roof RT12R. 991 generation. Yeah, it is an RT12R. That's a really special model from them as well that you don't hear about too much. And then here we have a 996 GT3 RS, the first RS car that we got in North America. We got the 996, but then for the 996.2, Porsche came out with the first RS before knowing how successful the RS and GT program would be and how successful it would become in the generation since. So this was a rest of world only car. Very cool to see that. A really cool set of JDM cars out here too. Original NA Miata and AutoZam AZ1, one of my favorite of the older K cars, K sports cars there. Very cool to see that. And NA2 Acura NSX in the best color, of course. That's fully original, of course, looks amazing. And then a Geo Metro convertible. What other concours show fields can you say share space with, I don't know, a $6,000 Geo Metro, despite the fact that it's in amazing condition, probably one of the only ones that hasn't rusted away. But you have this on the same show field as the, I don't know, $5-6 million Bugatti Mistral that we saw over there by the water. I don't think I've ever seen that level of diversity and value at cars at a concours show. So that's pretty cool. And this is just so period correct. This actually looks like it's the Chevy Metro from after Geo went under, and Chevy just absorbed all of their models. In fact, it's got the Geo wheels though. I'm not really sure. I'm not an expert on how to tell the exact model year differences from when they transition. But either way, original Metro convertible, always interesting to see. What else we have? It looks like a Jaguar E-Type Speedster, a build of some sort there. This is pretty cool. We have a Countach from it was a Grand Prix safety car, basically. Look at the size of those lights. That's crazy. Another Countach here. This looks like an anniversary model. And then the car that you would expect it to share an engine with, the LM002, the Rambo Lambo. That's just never gets old. V12 powered, massive hood bulge Lamborghini SUV with a quite interesting backstory of how it came to be. And check this out. This is not a G650 Mercedes-Maybach Landaulet like you might be thinking, because that was a familiar design in recent years. This is actually built off of a new Mercedes-Benz G63 AMG, but it's made by this company called Abushi. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's called the Cabrio G. They basically took a G63, took the roof off in the back, like you would have seen in that Landaulet model, and turned it into the ultimate high-performance modern G Cabrio. Pretty wild. We've got one of 399 Enzos here on the cliffside. Look at that. I mean, where else are you going to get a set like that with an Enzo right in front of the sea there? That's incredible. But then we have some other stuff here. This is pretty cool. Modified Bronco. This is always a favorite here. Mitsubishi Pajero Evo with the wild aero treatment and rally style wheels and mud flaps on the small little 3-door SUV. What else we've got? 488 Challenge, Mercy Roadster, original Mercy Roadster, Gallardo Super Trofeo race car, F12, Mosler MT900 over there in the Gulf livery. That's pretty cool. We saw that in Moda, actually, earlier this year on the Moda show field. But there's some really wild cars over here. So we have some GT40s. I'm not sure which exact mark of the GT40 that is. I want to say maybe Mark 1, but a couple of them here in front of the two generations of the GT over there. GT350 Shelby Mustang. Well, let's look at this here. They've got a Mistachrome Celine S281 Extreme, like the Mistachrome colors that you would see on the Cobra, Terminator Cobra Mustangs.
It's not a Cobra. It's not a Mystic.
I know. It's a Celine.
Right, but it's not a Mystic paint job either.
Well, it's Mistachrome.
No, it's not.
What is it then?
Extreme Rainbow. It's a Celine only color.
Really?
Yes, sir. One of 6 painted that.
Well, it's certainly a tribute to Mistachrome, is it not?
No, it came before Mystic.
Really?
Yes.
But this came after the Terminator.
First one painted this. No, the first Extreme Rainbow car is a '96 Cobra, which was the first blown Cobra ever created. I know because I owned it.
There we go.
Celine paid a $75,000 fine to the EPA because they didn't get it approved. So the next blown Cobra came in 2003 as the Terminator. So the '96 Celine Cobra, there was one of one. It was
Interesting.
made with the Vortec, and they didn't clear it with the EPA.
Wow. All right.
And it is the first Extreme Rainbow car.
Cool.
So this is one of 6 cars.
Subtle differences between, I mean, different name obviously, but
As you walk around, I mean, that's a Mistachrome right there. Take a look at the difference.
Oh, I didn't even notice. Oh yeah, yeah. This one's got more purple in it, at least in this light.
More pink.
Yeah. Very cool.
It'll pick up a copper.
Thanks for the history lesson.
Absolutely. Right there, you'll get the copper standing right there.
Yeah, that's very cool. All right, so there we go. I didn't even notice the actual Mistachrome because it looked so blue in this light. But there's the Terminator Mistachrome that I was referencing, and the Extreme Rainbow Celine S281 next to it. That's so interesting, a one-of-one car. All right, so those were some of the highlights here at the Gathering 2025, part of Newport Motor Week, and some incredible cars that we got to see today, but there's a lot more coming, so like and subscribe for more content coming to the channel soon from Newport Motor Week 2025. Thanks for watching.